Hey, Podmasters friends. I'm Paul. Today, you'll discover the best podcast in the world. Ready to learn from the greats and change your life? Let's go.
Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going deep with a guy named Javi Rodriguez.
Oh yeah, Javi's great.
Yeah, and he calls himself an entrepreneur and a coach, but he kind of has this unique blend of P&L, abundance, and manifestation. Have you heard those things?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So P&L, or neuro-linguistic programming, it's kind of like a way to reprogram your mind for success by tapping into powerful thought patterns.
Yeah.
And abundance is all about experiencing richness and wealth flowing naturally into your life, and manifestation that's consciously creating the reality you desire.
Right.
Pretty cool stuff, right?
Yeah, so Javi, what's so fascinating about him is that he went from being a troubled teen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to a thriving entrepreneur and coach.
Wow.
And even his approach to things like hitting the weights at the gym, he doesn't use headphones.
What?
Yeah, so it's a little clue to his out-of-the-box thinking.
Oh, wow. That's so interesting. I wonder what that's all about.
Right.
Well, in this interview he did with Jorge Serratos on his YouTube channel,
Oh, yeah.
Javi really opens up about his path. So let's unpack this a little bit.
Yeah.
What exactly is P&L? And how can our listeners use it in their everyday lives?
Well, Javi describes P&L as a recipe for success that you can create by modeling the thought patterns of people who are already killing it.
Oh, interesting.
Reverse engineering success, and rewiring your brain for it.
Okay, so it's more than just thinking positive thoughts.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the specific mental programming that leads to results.
Yeah, and a huge part of that is becoming aware of how our language and self-talk
Oh, yeah.
impact our beliefs and ultimately shape our reality.
Yeah.
You know how people say whether you think you can or you think you can't. You're right.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've totally fallen into that trap before.
Yeah, we all have.
For sure.
And Javi's journey really underscores this point.
Mm-hmm.
He realized that chasing happiness solely through external achievements or validation just left him feeling empty.
Oh, I can see that. So that's interesting because that's where it gets interesting. He realized that true abundance is not about getting, it's about giving.
Yeah, and unconditionally too.
Oh, wow.
He even shares some amazing examples from his relationships and businesses.
Oh, cool.
It's so powerful, and it begs the question, how often are you looking for validation outside of yourself? What if shifting that focus to giving could unlock a whole new level of abundance in your life, too?
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so get this. Javi actually sees life as a giant game.
What?
Yeah, he encourages us to embrace challenges, whether it's in our careers or relationships, as opportunities to level up.
That's a really cool way to look at things.
I know, right?
Reframing struggles as exciting quests instead of impossible roadblocks.
I love that. And to navigate these quests,
Yeah.
he highlights 3 key factors:
Okay.
disposition, attention, and intention.
Okay, break it down.
Okay, so what's disposition all about?
Well, disposition is about being open to change,
Okay.
embracing humility, and constantly seeking knowledge.
Right.
That beginner's mindset,
Yes.
That willingness to step outside your comfort zone and see things with fresh eyes.
Oh, so basically being open to new possibilities and not letting our egos get in the way.
Exactly.
I love that.
Then there's attention.
Okay.
Javi believes that what you focus your attention on, you amplify in your life.
Right.
It's like that old saying, energy flows where attention goes.
Yeah.
If you're constantly dwelling on negativity, guess what?
You get more negativity.
You're just inviting more negativity.
We've all had those days where it feels like everything's going wrong and then suddenly everything is going wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
And finally, there's intention.
Okay.
It's about aligning your actions with your values and approaching them from a place of love and gratitude.
So it's not enough to just set goals.
Right.
It's about ensuring those goals reflect who you are at your core.
Exactly.
And approaching them with the right energy.
Yes. Now, I want you to think about this.
Okay.
What are you truly willing to be open to? Where does your attention usually go?
Yeah.
And what are your true intentions behind your goals?
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah.
Okay, so Javi also talks about honoring your true self. It's so interesting. His definition of himself, he says, a human being committed to inner progress who has chosen to know himself through entrepreneurship.
Wow.
I know it's deep, right?
It's fascinating how he sees personal growth as a process of unbecoming.
Oh.
Shedding those limiting beliefs and labels we often pick up in childhood.
Interesting.
It's like peeling back the layers of an onion
Right.
to reveal the real you underneath.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
But seriously, who are you beneath those labels and roles you play in life?
Right.
What if your true potential lies in those parts of yourself you've been told to suppress?
That's what Javi's getting at. And then there's his perspective on discipline, which is pretty mind-blowing.
Oh, right.
He believes discipline is a result, not a cause.
What? So instead of forcing ourselves to be disciplined,
Yeah.
it's about finding something we truly value, and then the discipline naturally follows.
You got it.
Oh.
Javi emphasizes value, commitment, and responsibility
Okay.
as the true drivers of what we often perceive as disciplined behavior.
Right?
If you genuinely value something, the commitment and responsibility will flow, leading to consistent action.
That's so true.
He uses the example of his dedication to his son, stemming from his deep love and commitment. It's not about forcing discipline, it's about actions aligning with your heart.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow, that makes so much sense.
Right.
It's not about willpower. It's about tapping into a deeper source of motivation.
Exactly. Think about it. What do you truly value? And does it naturally guide your actions and create that sense of discipline Javi talks about?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I like that.
So Javi's take on the law of attraction is also super interesting.
Okay.
He takes it beyond simple wishing and emphasizes becoming the magnetic force that attracts what you desire.
I like that.
It's not about hoping, it's about being.
Yes.
He calls this the law of assumption, where you focus on embodying the qualities you want to attract rather than just longing for them.
Right.
So imagine you want to be a successful entrepreneur. Instead of just wishing for it, start acting, thinking, and feeling like one.
So step into the identity of the person you want to become.
Exactly. And he emphasizes the power of small, consistent changes over time.
Oh, that's good.
He calls it the law of sensitive dependence, comparing it to a ship slightly altering its course.
Okay.
A tiny adjustment at the start can lead to a vastly different destination.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
It means we don't need to make drastic overnight changes.
Right.
Small, consistent steps in the right direction can create massive shifts down the line.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So here's a thought-provoking question for you.
Okay.
Are you caught up in wanting, or are you focused on being? Are you simply trying to attract what you desire? Or are you actively stepping into the identity of the person who already has it?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
And Javi also believes that we're constantly manifesting,
Really?
whether we're aware of it or not.
Interesting.
Our thoughts, beliefs, and actions are constantly shaping our reality.
So true.
And it's not just about manifesting positive things.
Oh.
Javi believes even negative experiences like illness or financial struggles
Yeah.
can be manifestations of inner disharmony.
Wow.
It's a powerful reminder to pay attention to what we're putting out into the world.
So true.
So what are you manifesting right now?
Oh, good question.
Are your thoughts and beliefs aligned with what you truly desire?
That's a good one.
It's a good question to ask yourself.
For sure.
Javi also encourages us to embrace the messy parts of growth.
Okay.
He believes that disorder and conflict are essential for personal evolution.
Interesting.
So those challenging moments, those times when we feel resistance, are actually signs that we're on the right path, pushing ourselves to grow and evolve.
So when things get tough, that's actually a good sign.
Exactly.
That we're pushing ourselves outside our comfort zone.
Yes. Think about where you're facing resistance in your own life.
Okay.
What opportunities for growth could be hiding within those challenges?
Ooh, I like that.
Javi's definition of abundance is also really cool.
Okay. What is it?
He sees it as a state of being,
Interesting.
not just a pile of material possessions.
It's about connecting with that inner sense of abundance that's always available to us,
Yeah.
regardless of our external circumstances.
Exactly. How do you define abundance?
That's a good question.
Is it just about wealth, or is it about appreciating the richness of your relationships, your health, your experiences? Javi even challenges the traditional view of meditation.
Okay.
He doesn't see it as a rigid practice,
Right.
but as a way of being present in every moment.
Really? He meditates all the time?
Well, he gave examples like meditating while making love and connecting with his wife through intention setting.
Okay.
It's about bringing that mindful awareness to all aspects of life, finding that sacred space in the everyday, even the mundane.
Yeah.
He calls it spiritualizing everything
I love that.
and seeing life through the lens of love and growth.
So beautiful.
It's beautiful and kind of radical, right?
I know, right?
And then there's Javi's emphasis on facing those unconscious patterns that can sabotage our lives.
Okay.
We all have them.
Like, what? Give me an example.
Think about things like disorganization or getting angry when criticized. Javi believes these patterns often stem from childhood experiences.
Oh, interesting.
And he even shares how his own patterns were rooted in his past.
Wow.
The importance of awareness, acceptance, and understanding as the first steps to breaking free.
So it's not about blaming ourselves for those patterns,
Right.
but about becoming aware of them and then consciously choosing a new way of being.
Exactly.
Powerful stuff.
And then there's Javi's perspective on fear, which, like many of his views, is pretty unconventional.
Okay, let's hear it.
He believes that fear is a product of our perception,
Interesting.
not an objective reality. He actually called fear a call to remember,
A call to remember.
the miracle hidden within the challenge.
I love that.
It's about looking at our fears and questioning what's really underneath them.
Yeah.
What if those fears are actually guiding us toward our greatest growth?
So instead of being paralyzed by fear, we can reframe it as an invitation to step into our power.
Exactly.
Love it.
What if those fears are actually pointing us toward our greatest potential?
Ooh, that's good.
It's definitely a powerful shift in perspective.
So Javi breaks down how our minds work into 3 key insights:
Okay.
positioning, integration, and the reticular activating system.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So positioning refers to how our minds operate through dualities,
Right.
like good versus bad or right versus wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But we tend to pick a side and identify with it, creating a separation between us and them.
Yeah.
So it's about recognizing those ingrained dualities
Yes.
and challenging the judgments we place on ourselves and others.
Precisely.
Okay.
Then there's integration, which is about uniting our rational and creative sides, not separating them.
Oh, interesting.
Javi argues against compartmentalizing our lives,
Oh,
like thinking we have to choose between logic and emotion.
right.
So instead of trying to shut off parts of ourselves, it's about embracing the wholeness of who we are
Yes.
and integrating those different aspects into a harmonious whole.
Love it.
Exactly.
Why?
And lastly, there's the reticular activating system,
Okay.
which basically acts as a filter for our reality. It determines what we notice and focus on.
Right.
Javi emphasizes that what we focus on expands in our experience.
Like what you seek is seeking you.
Exactly. If you're looking for negativity, you'll find it. If you're looking for beauty, you'll find that too.
Totally.
Precisely. So Javi challenges us to analyze our mental frameworks.
Okay.
What positions are we clinging to?
Mm-hmm.
How can we integrate the different parts of ourselves? And most importantly, what are we choosing to focus on?
Ooh, that's good.
That's some serious food for thought right there.
I like it.
Now let's talk about Javi's personal story.
Okay.
He's been incredibly open about his difficult childhood, growing up with an alcoholic father and facing financial hardship.
Wow.
He even shared a story about attempting suicide as a teenager.
Oh my God.
It's remarkable how he transformed that darkness into light.
Wow.
He discovered personal development and entrepreneurship as a pathway to growth and healing.
Really?
Yeah.
So he kind of turned his life around.
He did.
It's amazing.
He mentioned the impact of key books and mentors, but also the realization that even with material success, something was still missing.
Oh, wow.
That's when he delved into spirituality.
Oh, wow.
And had this profound realization that his true purpose was already fulfilled simply by being alive.
What a powerful shift in perspective.
Yeah, it reminds us that we don't need to constantly strive and achieve to find our worth.
Right?
Our worth is inherent just by existing.
I love that.
Exactly. And from this realization, his focus shifted from personal gain to giving and serving others.
Oh, that's so powerful.
Yeah.
He talks about the transformative power of giving, not just materially, but also through love, kindness, and support.
Absolutely. And this leads to his core message.
What's that?
The key to abundance is to focus on giving and serving, not just receiving.
Oh, wow.
Javi believes that when we shift our focus to contributing to the well-being of others, we naturally attract the things we desire.
I love that.
He addresses those who struggle with the concept of money being easy.
Oh, yeah, that's a tough one for a lot of people.
Yeah, by explaining that it's about aligning with a belief system that supports abundance
Okay.
and surrounding yourself with people who share that belief.
So it's about creating an environment that supports your growth and expansion,
Precisely.
both internally and externally.
Exactly. And he emphasizes that while external circumstances may exist, we are ultimately responsible for our choices and actions.
Oh, that's so important.
He encourages us to step into our power and create the life we desire.
Powerful stuff.
Javi goes so far as to define love as a state of being where we give unconditionally.
Oh, wow.
He believes that love is the ultimate key to unlocking abundance and fulfillment.
It's about recognizing that love is not something we need to earn or deserve.
Right.
It's our natural state of being.
It's the source from which everything flows.
I love that.
Yeah, and his advice on choosing a partner is so simple yet profound.
What is it?
Become the partner you seek.
Oh.
It's about focusing on embodying the qualities you desire in a relationship rather than just searching for someone who possesses them.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Javi also shared his personal experience of attracting opportunities and connections simply by sharing his passions and expertise.
Oh, that's great.
He encourages us to overcome the fear of judgment and embrace visibility as a way to connect with our purpose and attract abundance.
It's about sharing your gifts with the world and trusting that the right people will find you.
His definition of infidelity is also interesting. He sees it as a violation of agreements and standards within a relationship. He argues that infidelity stems from internal incongruence and a need to fill an internal void.
So it's not just about the physical act.
Right.
It's about the emotional and psychological dynamics at play.
And he emphasizes the importance of forgiveness and self-responsibility in healing from infidelity.
Okay.
Javi also talked about the power of teamwork, how he shifted from working solo to embracing collaboration.
Oh, cool.
He believes the key to successful teamwork is recognizing and uplifting the greatness in others.
It's about appreciating the unique strengths each person brings to the table
Mm-hmm.
and creating a synergy that allows everyone to shine.
He also addressed common excuses like, I don't have time, and I don't have money.
Oh, yeah, those are big ones.
He argues that time is a function of priorities and awareness.
Right.
And that money flows more easily when we invest in our growth and give generously.
Those are good points.
He believes those are often masks for deeper fears and limiting beliefs
Wow, that's a good point.
that are holding us back from our full potential.
So it's about challenging those excuses and recognizing the power we have to choose differently.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
Javi uses the equation 1 + 1 = 3 to describe the synergy of collaboration.
Ooh, I like that.
He emphasizes that when people come together with a shared purpose, the results are greater than the sum of their parts.
It's like that African proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Precisely. Javi's perspective on these topics is so refreshing and insightful.
It really is.
He challenges conventional thinking and offers a unique roadmap for creating a life of abundance, purpose, and fulfillment.
I love that.
It's pretty amazing.
So inspiring.
Yeah, he really does. Yeah. And it's so inspiring to see him, walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Oh, totally. And that really comes through in the interview.
Yeah.
Okay, let's dig into another one of his interesting ideas, the discipline myth.
Oh, yeah, this one's great. So Javi thinks that if you truly value something, you'll naturally have the discipline to do it. It's not about forcing yourself. It's about finding that motivation inside you.
So it's more about alignment than willpower.
Yeah, exactly. He thinks that value, commitment, and responsibility are what we think of as discipline.
Okay.
When you really care about something, the commitment and responsibility just come naturally.
That's true. I've noticed that in my own life.
Yeah, me too. And he talks about how dedicated he is to his son. That comes from love and responsibility, not discipline.
That makes sense.
So for our listener out there, what do you truly value? Think about that. How can you let your values guide your actions?
It's a good question, for sure. And Javi also has a unique perspective on the law of attraction.
Oh, yeah, he does.
He thinks it's so much more than just wishing for things. It's about becoming that magnetic force that draws in what you want.
Right. It's not just about wanting it. You have to be it.
Yes.
And it calls it the law of assumption,
Interesting.
where you act like the person you want to become.
Right.
So if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, think and feel like you already are one.
Wow. So instead of chasing the outcome, you become the type of person who gets that outcome.
Exactly. You align your inner world with your outer reality.
I like that.
And Javi also points out the power of small, consistent changes.
Oh, yeah.
It's called the law of sensitive dependence.
Okay.
Like when a ship adjusts its course just a tiny bit at the beginning, that small change leads to a totally different destination.
I love that analogy. It's so true. We think we need to make big changes.
Right.
But really, it's the little everyday things that add up.
That's like the compound effect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for everyone listening, are you just wanting things or are you working on being the person who has those things?
Yeah, think about it. Are you making small, consistent changes that will get you to your goals?
That's a good question to ask ourselves. And Javi also thinks we're always manifesting even when we don't know it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Wait, so you're saying that even if I am not actively trying to manifest something, my thoughts and actions are still shaping my reality?
Exactly. And here's the thing. It's not just about manifesting good things. Even bad things can be manifestations too.
Wow.
like illness or money problems. Those can come from disharmony inside us.
So that means we have so much more power than we think.
It's about taking responsibility for how we think and feel.
Wow. So powerful. So what are you manifesting right now, listener?
Yeah, think about that. Are your thoughts and beliefs aligned with your desires?
Another good question. Javi also encourages us to be okay with the messy parts of growth.
Yeah, he thinks that's totally normal.
So when things are tough, that's actually a good thing.
Yeah, it means we're being challenged and growing.
Okay, so challenges equal growth. I like that.
When you're facing resistance, you know you're on the right track.
So where are you feeling resistance, listener? What could you learn from those challenges?
Oh, I like that. And Javi's definition of abundance is really interesting.
What is it?
It's not about material things.
Okay.
It's about a feeling. Like a feeling of being abundant inside no matter what's happening outside.
That's a great way to put it. How do you define abundance, listener? Is it just about money, or is it about all the good things in your life?
Javi also has this cool idea about meditation.
Oh yeah, he's all about being present.
Exactly. He says it's not a strict practice.
Okay.
It's a way of life.
You gave those examples, right?
Yeah, like meditating during
Making love.
Yeah.
Connecting with his wife.
Yeah, through intention setting.
Wow, that's next level.
It's about being mindful in every moment,
Right.
finding the sacred in the ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
He calls it spiritualizing everything.
Yeah, I love that.
And seeing life through the lens of love and growth.
So beautiful.
And then he talks about these unconscious patterns that can mess up our lives,
Oh yeah, we all have them.
you know?
Like what? Give me an example.
Like being disorganized or getting angry easily.
Yeah, I know people like that.
He thinks these patterns come from childhood.
Interesting.
He shared that his own patterns came from his past. And he says the first step to breaking free is awareness, acceptance, and understanding.
So don't blame yourself for those patterns.
Right.
Just notice them and choose to react differently.
Yeah, that's how you take back your power.
And then there's Javi's view on fear.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty radical.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks fear comes from our perception, not reality. He called it a call to remember the miracle and the challenge.
Oh, I like that.
It's about looking at your fears and asking what they can teach you.
Wow.
What if those fears are actually good for you?
So powerful. What if they're guiding us to our potential?
Exactly. It's all about perspective.
Okay, so when it comes to understanding how our minds work, Javi breaks it down into 3 things:
Okay.
positioning, integration, and the reticular activating system.
All right, let's hear it.
So positioning is about how our minds think in opposites,
Okay.
like good versus bad, us versus them.
Right.
And we usually choose one side,
Mm-hmm.
which creates separation and judgment.
Yeah, so it's about noticing those opposites and questioning those judgments.
Exactly.
And then there's integration,
Oh.
which is about being whole.
Mm-hmm.
Javi doesn't like the idea that we have to separate our logic and emotion.
So it's about embracing all of who we are.
Yes, exactly. And then there's the reticular activating system. It's like
Right.
a filter for what we see in the world,
It determines what we notice
right?
and what we focus on.
And Javi says what we focus on, we get more of.
It's like you attract what you focus on.
Exactly. So
Mhm.
what are you focusing on, listener?
What are you clinging to?
How can you integrate all parts of yourself?
Wow, so many good questions.
Now let's talk about Javi's life story.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
He's been so open about his tough childhood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, alcoholic father, financial problems.
Yeah.
He even tried to kill himself as a teenager.
That's so sad.
But look at him now.
It's incredible how he turned things around.
He found healing and growth through personal development and starting businesses.
That's amazing.
He talked about the books and people who helped him. But even with all his success, he still felt like something was missing.
Really?
Yeah. So he got into spirituality.
Oh, wow.
And he realized that his purpose was already fulfilled just by being alive.
That's such a powerful idea.
It reminds us that we don't need to achieve things to be worthy.
I love that.
We are already worthy just because we exist.
That's so beautiful.
And that changed everything for him. He started focusing on giving back to others.
I love that.
That's amazing.
He talks about how giving can transform your life,
Mm-hmm.
not just giving money, but giving love, kindness, and support.
And that's his main message, right?
Yeah. The key to abundance is giving, not just getting.
Wow. So simple, yet so profound.
When we help others, we attract good things to ourselves.
And he has something to say to those who think money is hard.
Oh, yeah, that's a common one.
What does he say?
He says it's about believing that money can be easy
Okay.
and hanging out with people who believe that too.
So it's about creating the right environment for abundance.
Yeah, both inside and out. I like that.
Yeah.
And he also says that we are responsible for our choices.
Even when things are tough.
It's about taking control of our lives and creating the reality we want.
Exactly. And Javi's definition of love is beautiful.
Oh, yeah. I love how he defines it.
He says it's about giving unconditionally.
It's not something you earn, it's just who you are.
Right. It's where everything comes from.
So good. And his advice on finding the right partner.
Oh, yeah. It's so simple.
What is it?
Be the partner you want.
Wow, that's deep.
Focus on embodying those qualities.
Instead of looking for them in someone else.
Exactly. Javi also talked about how he attracts opportunities.
Oh, yeah. How does he do that?
By sharing his passions and expertise.
So he puts himself out there.
He encourages us to do the same.
Don't be afraid to share your gifts with the world.
The right people will find you.
And what about his definition of infidelity?
Oh, that one's interesting. He sees it as breaking the rules of the relationship. It often comes from feeling incomplete inside.
It's not just physical, it's emotional and psychological.
Yeah. And forgiveness and taking responsibility are key to healing.
Javi also talked about going from working alone to working with others.
Yeah, he loves teamwork now.
He says the key is to recognize the greatness in others.
Appreciate everyone's strength.
And create a team where everyone can succeed.
He also talked about those excuses we all use.
You know, I don't have time or I don't have money.
Yeah, he thinks those are just hiding deeper issues.
Like fear and limiting beliefs.
Exactly. He says time is about priorities and awareness.
And money comes when you invest in yourself and give back to others.
It's about challenging those excuses and choosing something different.
And that brings us to his equation. 1 + 1 = 3.
Oh, yeah.
That's how he describes teamwork.
When people work together, they achieve more than they could alone.
It's like the power of synergy.
Exactly. It creates a ripple effect that goes beyond the team itself.
So true. So Javi's perspective is really refreshing.
It is. He makes you think differently.
And he's living proof that his ideas work.
He turned his life around.
Yeah, it's inspiring.
He's a great example of how we can overcome challenges and create a meaningful life.
Yeah, it really is inspiring. Like, he really turned his whole life around.
Totally. And his ideas are so helpful for anyone who wants to do the same, you know?
So for our listeners out there, what are like the main things we should remember from this deep dive into Javi Rodriguez's world?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is the power of giving.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Javi believes that when we stop focusing on what we can get and start focusing on what we can give, abundance just comes naturally.
Or it's like that saying, right? The more you give, the more you receive.
Exactly. And Javi doesn't just talk about giving material things.
Right.
It's about giving our time, energy, love, and support.
So being generous. Yeah.
Approaching life with a generous spirit.
So true. And that kind of leads into another big takeaway, right? Self-responsibility.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Javi emphasizes that, yeah, we can't always control what happens to us.
Right.
But we can control how we react.
And what we make it mean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That brings us back to manifestation.
Right.
Javi believes we're always manifesting.
Whether we know it or not.
Yeah, through our thoughts, beliefs, and actions.
So we need to become conscious creators.
Yes.
You know, align our inner world with what we want in our outer world.
And remember the law of assumption. It's not just about wishing for things.
Right.
It's about becoming the person who already has them.
Embody those qualities, think those thoughts, take those actions.
It all starts with a shift in perspective.
Exactly. And don't forget the power of small, consistent actions.
Those little steps add up.
Yeah, you don't need to make huge changes overnight.
Just be consistent.
And trust the process.
And if things get tough,
which they will,
embrace the challenge.
Yeah, those challenges are opportunities for growth.
That's when we push ourselves and reach our potential.
And Javi also reminds us to remember that abundance is already within us.
We don't have to chase it.
It's in our relationships, our health, our experiences.
It's about being grateful for what we already have.
Yeah, cultivate that attitude of gratitude.
And one last thing for our listeners.
Okay.
Remember that fear is usually an illusion.
Javi encourages us to question our fears.
Look deeper.
What opportunities are hiding there?
What if those fears are actually guiding us to something amazing?
It's about choosing courage over comfort.
Embrace the unknown.
Yeah. And if Javi's message resonates with you,
definitely check out his work.
You can find him on Instagram and YouTube as Javi Rodriguez.
He's got lots of great stuff, online courses, events.
And hey, maybe one day we'll do a deep dive into Javi's Dubai lifestyle.
Oh yeah, I hear it's pretty glamorous.
That would be a fun one.
Until next time, keep diving deep, keep exploring, and keep seeking out those aha moments.
Happy listening, everyone.
And that's it for now, Podmasters friends. Thanks for joining us in this episode full of learning. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Stay tuned for the next episode. We have more secrets that can change your life. See you soon.